मां त्वां न हि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नमृद्धम् राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्। सञ्जय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा हृषीकेशं गुडाकेशः परन्तपः न योत्स्य इति गोविन्दम् उक्त्वा तूष्णीं बभूवः। तमुवाच हृषीकेशः प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अशोचानान्वशोचस्त्वं प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासूनगतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पण्डिताः। न त्वेवाहं जातु नासं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्। देहिनोऽस्मिन् यथा देहे कौमारं यौवनं जरा तथा देहान्तरः प्राप्तिः धीरस्तत्र न मुह्यति। मात्रा स्पर्शास्तु कौन्तेय शीतोष्णसुखदुःखदाः आगमापायिनो नित्याः तां स्थितिक्षस्व भारत। यं हि व्यथयन्त्येते पुरुषं पुरुषर्षभ समदुःखसुखं धीरं सोमृतत्वाय कल्पते। नासतो विद्यते भावो नाभावो विद्यते सतः उभयोरपि दृष्टोऽन्तः त्वनयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः। अविनाशि तु तत्विद्धि येन सर्वमिदं ततं विनाशमव्ययस्यास्य न कश्चित् कर्तुमर्हति। अन्तवन्त इमे देहा नित्यास्योक्ता शरीरिणः अनाशिनो प्रमेयस्य तस्माद्युध्यस्व भारत। य एनं वेत्ति हन्तारं यश्चैनं मन्यते हतम् उभौ तौ न विजानीतः नायं हन्ति न हन्यते। न जायते म्रियते वा कदाचित् नायं भूत्वा भविता वा न भूयः अजो नित्यः शाश्वतोऽयं पुराणो न हन्यते हन्यमाने शरीरे। वेदा विनाशिनं नित्यं य एनमजमव्ययम् कथं स पुरुषः पार्थ कं घातयति हन्तिकम् वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवाणि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि। नयनं छिन्दन्ति शस्त्राणि नयनं दहति पावकः न चैनं क्लेदयन्त्यापः न शोषयति मारुतः अच्छेद्योऽयमदाह्योऽयम् अक्लेद्यो शोष्य एव च नित्यः सर्वगतस्थाणुः अचलोऽयं सनातनः अव्यक्तोऽयमचिन्त्योऽयम् अविकार्योऽयमुच्यते तस्माद्देवं विदित्वैनं नानुशोचितुमर्हसि अथ चैनं नित्यजातं नित्यं वा मन्यसे मृतं तथापि त्वं महाबाहो नैनं शोचितुमर्हसि जातस्य हि ध्रुवो मृत्युः ध्रुवं जन्म मृतस्य च तस्मादपरिहार्येऽर्थे न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि अव्यक्तादीनि भूतानि व्यक्तमध्यानि भारत अव्यक्तनिधनान्येव तत्र का परिदेवना आश्चर्यवत् पश्यति कश्चिदेनम् आश्चर्यवत् वदति तथैव चान्यः आश्चर्यवच्चैनमन्यः शृणोति श्रुत्वाप्येनं वेद न चैव कश्चित् देहे नित्यमवाप्योऽयं देहे करुण्य भारत तस्मात् सर्वाणि भूतानि न त्वं शोचितुमर्हसि सर्वधर्ममपि चावेक्ष्य न विकम्पितुमर्हसि धर्म्यात् श्रेयोऽन्यात् क्षत्रियस्य न विद्यते यदृच्छया चोपपन्नम् स्वर्गद्वारमपावृतम् सुखिनः क्षत्रियाः पार्थ लभन्ते युद्धमीदृशम् अथ चेत्त्वमिमं धर्म्यं सङ्ग्रामं न करिष्यसि ततः स्वधर्मं कीर्तिं च हित्वा पापमवाप्स्यसि अकीर्तिं चापि भूतानि कथयिष्यन्ति ते व्ययाम् सम्भावितस्य च कीर्तिः मरणादतिरिच्यते भयद्रणादुपरतम् मंस्यन्ते त्वां महारथाः येषां च त्वं बहुमतो भूत्वा यास्यसि लाघवम् अवाच्यवादांश्च बहून् वदिष्यन्ति तवाहिताः निन्दन्तस्तव सामर्थ्यं ततो दुःखतरं नु किम् हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गं जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः सुखदुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैवं पापमवाप्स्यसि नेहाभिक्रमनाशोऽस्ति प्रत्यवायो न विद्यते स्वल्पमप्यस्य धर्मस्य त्रायते महतो भयात् व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः एकेह कुरु नन्दन बहुशाखा ह्यनन्ताश्च बुद्धयो व्यवसायिनाम् यामिमां पुष्पितां वाचं प्रवदन्त्य विपश्चितः वेदवादरताः पार्थ नान्यदस्तीति वादिनः कामात्मानः स्वर्गपरा जन्म कर्म प्रदां क्रिया विशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तयापहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समाधौ न विधीयते त्रैगुण्य विषया वेद निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान् यावनर्थ उदपाने सर्वतः सम्प्लुतोदके तावान् सर्वेषु वेदेषु ब्राह्मणस्य विजानतः कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफलहेतुर्भूः मा ते सङ्गोऽस्त्वकर्मणि योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि सङ्गं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्यसिद्ध्यो समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते दूरेण ह्यवरं कर्म बुद्धियोगात् धनञ्जय बुद्धौ शरणमन्विच्छ कृपणाः फलहेतवः बुद्धियुक्तो जहातीह उभे सुकृतदुष्कृते तस्माद्योगाय युज्यस्व योगः कर्मसु कौशलम् कर्मजं बुद्धियुक्ता हि फलं त्यक्त्वा मनीषिणः जन्मबन्धविनिर्मुक्ताः पदं गच्छन्त्यनामयम् यदा ते मोहकलिलं बुद्धिर्व्यतितरिष्यति तदा गन्तासि निर्वेदं श्रोतव्यस्य श्रुतस्य च श्रुतिविप्रतिपन्ना ते यदा स्थास्यति निश्चला समाधावचला बुद्धिः तदा योगमवाप्स्यसि अर्जुन उवाच स्थितप्रज्ञस्य का भाषा समाधिस्थस्य केशव स्थितदिः किं प्रभाषेते किमासीत व्रजेत किम् श्रीभगवानुवाच प्रजहाति यदा कामान् सर्वान् पार्थमनोगतान् आत्मान्येवात्मना तुष्टः स्थितप्रज्ञस्तदोच्यते दुःखेष्वनुद्विग्नमनाः सुखेषु विगतस्पृहः वीतरागभयक्रोधः स्थितधीर्मुनिरुच्यते यः सर्वत्र स्नेहः तत्तत्प्राप्य शुभाशुभम् नाभिनन्दन्ति न द्वेष्टि तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता यदा संहरते चायं कूर्मोऽङ्गाणीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता विषया विनिवर्तन्ते निराहारस्य देहिनः रसवर्जं रसोऽप्यस्य param drishtva nivartate. Yatato hyapi kaunteya purushasya vipaschitaha indriyani pramathini haranti prasabham manaha tani sarvani samyamya yukta asita matparaha vashe hi yasyendriyani tasya prajna pratishtita. Jayate vishayan punsah sangasteshupajayate sangat sanjayate kamaha kamat krodho bijayate krodat bhavati sammohaha sammohat smriti vibhravaha smriti vibhramshat buddhinasho buddhinashaha buddhinashat pranashyati. Ragadvesha vimuktestu vishayanindriyeshcharan atmavashyait vidheyatma prasadamadigaccati. Prasade sarva dukkhanam hanirasyopajayate prasanna chetaso hyashu prasanna chetaso hyashu buddhi paryavatishtate nasti buddhiyuktas nasti buddhirayuktasya nachayuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata shantihi ashantasya kutah sukam indriyanam hi charatam yanmano vidhiyate tadasya harati pragyam vairnavami vambhasi tasmadyasya mahabaho nigruhitani sarvashah indriyanindriyathebhyah tasya prajna pratishtita ya nisha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagarti sanyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehi. Apurvamana machala pratishtam samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishanti sarve sashanti mapnoti na kamakami vihaya kamanya sarvan pumamscharati nispruhaha nirmamo nirahankaraha sashantimadhigacchati. Esha brahmi stiti partha nainam prapya vimuhyati stitva syamanta kalepi brahmanirvana mricchati. Shri Krishna Krishnarpanamastu.
Okay. Wonderful.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So, yeah, before we begin, there is a Ramayana teaching class that somebody is doing, a group of people from here, Seattle and India, they're doing together. They're teaching Ramayana shlokas, especially the Sankshipta Ramayana. The first 100 shlokas is a summary of entire Ramayana. Just like how Bhagavad Gita chapter 2 is considered a summary of Bhagavad Gita. So Sankshipta Ramayana is a summary of all kandas like Ayodhya Kanda, Kishkinda Kanda, Sundara Kanda, everything. So in 100 slokas, so the entire Ramayana is summarized. So there's a group of people from Chinajiyar Swami ashram that they're conducting online classes to learn these 100 shlokas, learn the pronunciation and also the meaning of the shlokas. And if possible, they're trying to gather 100 people together. And on Ramanavami day, which is March 31st, they want to recite all these 100 shlokas in the temple, in Samamish ISKCON temple. So I'll send out the information in the group. So whoever is interested, they can join. It's free and it's online. Yeah. Okay. So what I have observed is people who read Ramayana from childhood, especially from early childhood, they grow up with good moral values. If I look at some of my friends of my age who studied Ramayana during their childhood, mostly from their grandparents or parents, they're maintaining good amount of integrity and high level of moral values. Because Lord Rama is known as Maryada Purushottama. Krishna incarnated as Lord Rama in Treta Yuga to set an example of living like a good human being, a good citizen of the country. So, yeah. Okay.
Prabhuji, aren't the Ramayana verses a bit difficult to memorize? They are lengthy, right, compared to Bhagavad Gita?
Yeah, they are lengthy. Yeah, it takes a lot of time and effort to memorize verses. But at least the purpose of this class is to be able to pronounce the shlokas properly.
Okay.
And then understand the meaning of them. Yeah.
So will that class be on the weekends as well, Prabhuji?
Yeah, weekends.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we have to recite like by reading it, right? Not without like directly memorizing, or we can recite it by
You don't have to memorize.
Okay. Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, no need to memorize. And looks like there is a smart app that they have developed. So you can recite a shloka, and the app corrects your pronunciation.
Oh, that's crazy.
The smart.
Actually, I wanted to learn Sanskrit as well, Prabhuji, while like reciting or learning the slokas.
Yeah.
Simultaneously learn Sanskrit as a result.
Uh-huh.
Maybe this will help.
Yeah. So joining this Ramayana class will help you.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see.
Learning Sanskrit, it takes 12 years to learn the grammar, chandas, nirukti, everything. It takes 12 years.
Like not proficient, like just be able to understand whatever I'm reading, like directly. How much time would that take, Prabhuji? Like if I read a shloka, I should understand what it says. Like loosely is good.
Yeah. So then probably in a year or two. Yeah. In a year or two, you'll get a hang of how to look at the English text. So you're following English text or the Devanagari script?
English text, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So you'll get a hang of the English text and the pronunciation in 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So even if you get a hang of the pronunciation, even if you become comfortable reading and pronunciating the Sanskrit words, still when you look at a new shloka, right? It'll be a little difficult to.
Yeah, it takes a couple of times to get it right.
Yeah, it takes a couple of. Yeah. Unless you learn the complete Sanskrit spending 12 years, then it's a different story. But otherwise, even if you become familiar, loosely familiar with the pronunciation and everything for 1 to 2 years, get a hang of it. Still, when you look at a new shloka, it takes some time.
Yeah, Prabhuji.
But you will overcome. Over a period of time, you will overcome by looking at new shlokas for another couple of years. So you will overcome. It comes with practice. There's no other technique.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that true, Prabhuji? Like after learning Sanskrit, other languages, we can learn other languages easily. Like it's a root language, they say, right?
Yeah. And it's a very rich language. Sanskrit is a very rich language. So if you learn this rich language, learning any other language would be a piece of cake.
Yeah.
Also, they invented something. I mean, some guy in Cambridge, I think, Indian origin person invented something in Cambridge, which
Rishi,
made
right?
recently, yeah,
Name is
which
Rishi.
made the computer understand. I mean, I think write in a like
Use
understand in a
Sanskrit as a
much
programming
concise language.
language.
Yeah,
Use Sanskrit
concise.
as a programming language, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yeah. Sanskrit word. I mean, he invented something like a Sanskrit language. He decoded something which made. I mean, computer understand this language in much concise, like code and in a better way as well. I mean, I'm yet
Yeah.
to. I mean, I'll give you the exact link, but this was recent invention that went really viral. And
Yeah, it's in progress though. He
the
just he just figured it out. It took
yeah
him quite some time, but yeah, it's still in progress.
yeah
It's like it may still get better and overtake the present languages, whatever we use,
yeah
right?
yes yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Ashok, how are you?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, doing good Prabhuji.
Yeah. So you
Like
couldn't today?
I have to take my daughter to 2 birthday parties on the same day, so I'm like driving them.
Wow, two birthday parties in the same day.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're at one birthday party. The moment they come out, I have to drop them to another birthday party, then head home. So
Okay.
I was
So,
unable to come to the class today, Prabhuji.
so
In
you are
person.
the Ratha Sarathi.
Yes.
Good. Yeah. That's our job in America. That's our job. Especially imagine you have two kids going to different classes, music, karate, violin, math class, English class, birthday parties, this thing, that thing. So we'll be doing a job of a Radha Sarathi all the time.
True, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Especially in India, you can hire a driver and they can take care of all these things. But yeah, here you have to do everything by yourself.
Yes,
Good.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
If that's a huge problem, I think we can resolve it through an app, Prabhuji.
Through an app.
Yeah, maybe like create a new app where Indian parents or like immigrants can use that app to like drop their children, which will integrate for all the classes.
You're talking about
Uh,
carpooling or
yeah, maybe carpooling or just Ratha Sarathi work.
yeah, or maybe after 5 years, there's a company in California. It's called Cruise. So they are coming up with this driverless car.
Yeah.
So you call the car and, or maybe you buy the car, and then you put the address in the car and then ask your
I would
daughters.
not send my children in there.
Prabhuji, that's what Tesla is planning, Prabhuji. If you look at Tesla, it's an artificial intelligence company.
Yeah.
So I was, they collect so much data,
Yeah.
especially the cameras, what they have, it's all data collection.
Oh yeah, they have billions of data from last
So
years or so. They have collected billions of data.
So I think the driverless technology will soon come into picture, Prabhuji.
Cruise, the specific company called Cruise. So that's their product. The product they are working on is driverless car. Right from day one, it will be driverless. So Tesla, I don't know. I don't know if they will ever be able to go driverless completely. There's a company called Viomo or something. It starts with W. In Phoenix, they're already in production. They're already running driverless car within Phoenix area. But it works within the geo.
That is funded by Google, Prabhuji.
Yeah. It was,
yeah.
Google used to use that car to take the street view pictures and videos. Then it was made into a production commercial car. But it works within the geofencing boundary. The same car cannot drive everywhere. So whereas this cruise company in Bay Area, they're coming up with a model where the driverless car can work anywhere. So, okay, we'll see what happens after 5 years. Yeah. Okay. So what did we discuss last week?
2.8, Prabhuji.
2.8. Okay. Yeah.
About Kripana.
Kripana and Brahmana, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So any points of recollection from 2.8 or maybe 2.7 also?
We had like what is spiritual miser?
Yeah.
And the austerity, and also 4 classes of intelligence.
2.7 is the turning point for Arjuna.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, 2.7 is a big transition in Arjuna's situation. So
I think that is where we discussed Shreyas and prayers, and we also discussed about how he was quoting like he had intelligence and knowledge, but they were more about like material intelligence and not the like intelligence about the soul that's behind it. And he was quoting many things from many places, like, I mean, how can I kill my like kinsman, and will that not result in like unwanted population, or like will that not result in killing my dynasty and everything? But yeah, it was not in the right direction.
Yeah. So Shreyas, we discussed 2 stories also, right? The story of a king and an old lady carrying a load of sticks on. So when the king, one day when he's walking around in the stage, when he sees this lady, he asks, make a wish, I'll fulfill that wish. Today I'm in a charitable mood, so I can fulfill any wish that you make. So then that lady, has been carrying a load of since morning. And so she asked the king to shift the load from one shoulder to another shoulder. The king said, all right, it's a very small thing, I can do that. So that is asking for some temporary prayers. But Shreyas is permanent benefit, long-term benefit, permanent happiness. And we discussed another or extension of the same story. What was that?
Someone asking him, king, to be his friend instead of anything materialistic things. So that eventually gave him all the materialistic benefits as well, along with
Along with
friendship. Yeah.
So yeah. So similarly, if we seek friendship with Krishna, or if we seek any relation as a servant, as a friend, as a lover, as a husband, we seek any relation with Krishna. Krishna gives, Krishna reciprocates in that relation, as well as Krishna fulfills all our material desires.
Prabhuji, your voice is breaking a bit. I'm able to make it out, but breaking at the last, like the very end. That word is not audible.
Okay. 1 second. Okay, is this better now?
Yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay. So I'm using my headphones. Okay. Yeah. So that is about Shreyas and Preyas.
We also discussed about one more story, Prabhuji, about how one sweeper tried to with Krishna's plan, and that killed or that destroyed the happiness for all three of his devotees. Yeah, that was in 2.7, right? 2.7. Yeah, how to understand God's plan. Yeah.
How to understand God's plan. Okay. Anything else? I think we discussed one more story about a story in the context of Kripana, miser.
Yeah, the grandson. The guy is the grandson.
Yeah. So eventually, at the end of the story, the grandfather, the grandson, and the father of the grandson, father of their son, three of them die.
Yeah.
In the name of protecting the wealth, in the name of saving the wealth and not spending, in the name of being a miser, material miser, their wealth is lost and their lives are also lost. And similar thing can happen in spiritual miserliness also. And we discussed the two aspects of spiritual miserliness, right? So what are those two aspects?
Not inquiring about the higher purpose is one.
Yeah. And
not utilizing the human potential.
yeah, the same thing. Not utilizing the not utilizing the human potential. Yeah.
And not asking the right thing.
Yeah. So two things: not asking and not giving. So not giving your 100% of human potential and not asking the right thing. So that's the spiritual miserliness. Yeah. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Yeah.
I have another question. Maybe at the end of the class we can discuss.
Okay.
The question is like, how do we say no?
How do we what?
Say no when, say for example, what really happens is like people try to ask for help. At what point do we say no? Because there is a story about a person, a lazy person, instead of giving him money, they will teach him a skill so that he can earn his livelihood. So on the similar aspect, how do we, when what really happens is like when a lot of people ask for help, sometimes we will be like so much overwhelmed. But what point do we say no, or what kind of help we need to do?
So at what point you say no? Yeah. So you, first of all, you have to be selfish. You have to look at your comfort level. You have to look at your priorities. You have to look at your availability and time, and your family, and then after taking care of all these things, if you still have time, you can help others.
Okay, Prabhuji.
So some people, out of compassion or out of some weakness, they may tend to go extra mile and help others, even by putting their own comfort or their own priorities at stake, and even by sacrificing their family time and needs. They may go extra mile and help others, but eventually that's going to backfire. The person who is taking the help, he himself might not appreciate you in the long run. So was there a particular situation, or are you asking in general?
Yes, Prabhuji. There's particular situation, like, sometimes I don't know whether people try to take advantage of my goodness or something. It's like sometimes I'm overwhelmed or stressed. So that's the reason I asked, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So yeah, you know the set of verses in chapter 18, right? Chapter 17 or 18. So charity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance. So if you read those three verses in the purport, even though they are talking about charity is what? Giving, right? So giving some amount of donation or giving your time, it's basically helping. It's basically helping others. So if you look at those three verses and focus on the charity in the mode of goodness, which is nothing but helping in the mode of goodness. So then you can follow that principle.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So helping in the mode of charity or helping in the mode of ignorance is like not knowing how to say no to anyone. That's charity in the mode of ignorance, helping in the mode of ignorance. So you'll be very hesitant to say no to anyone. You will think, oh, what the other person might think. Will they cut off the friendship with me, or will they feel bad? So not knowing how to say no, that's helping in the mode of ignorance. So helping in the mode of passion is, I forgot what exactly Prabhupada mentions in that purport to charity in the mode of goodness. You can look at it later, but the principles from those three shlokas will help your situation.
I missed what those three shlokas are, Prabhuji. Can you just...
So there are three shlokas, either in chapter 17 or 18. I think they are in 18.
Okay.
Where Krishna tells charity in the mode of three modes. Charity in the mode of goodness, passion, and ignorance.
Okay.
How charity is done in the mode of goodness, how charity is done in the mode of passion, and how charity is done in the mode of ignorance.
Okay.
because different people perform charitable activities in different styles. So when you meet, when you see a homeless person on the street, our usual tendency is to take out some money from the wallet and give it to him. So that's an example of charity in the mode of ignorance. So whenever you are doing charity or when you are helping other person, three things have to be taken into consideration: time, place, and circumstances. Desha, Kala, Patra. Time, place, and circumstances. Not only for helping, for anything. Desha, Kala, Patra are the three principles. So it's a very nice doctrine that Krishna gives in 18th chapter. So you have to see time, place, and circumstances. So instead of giving money to that homeless person, you can give some fruits or some food that you have, or you can go to, if you don't have anything readily available in your car. So next time, if you see the homeless person in the same place, you can keep some eatables in your car, and next time when you see that person in the same place, you can give those fruits or vegetables to him, or some bread, whatever. Because if you just give money, he might go and buy some alcohol or cigarettes or some drugs. You don't know, or he might buy some meat also, and you will incur 30% of that karma. So if he is using your money and indulging in these activities, buying meat, cigarette, alcohol, drugs, or whatever, you will incur 30% of that karma. So that's why you have to be charitable in the mode of goodness. Yeah.
Some countries or some people like generally don't have the culture of cooking or like eating vegetables, and they generally survive on meat. I mean, India is blessed with a lot of vegetables, and its culture promotes cooking. But that might not be the case with many countries and or many cultures as well. As in, like, even not even about culture and stuff, but generally many people prefer not cooking and directly getting food from restaurants, and here they sell generally meat, mostly meat, as their daily this thing. So even, like, I mean, if we want to help a homeless person and they generally are not like eating vegetables and stuff, and some people might not even accept it or something like that, then in that case, what's the, maybe cook we can give cooked food as well, right, Prabhuji?
You can cook something at home, and then if you see a person repeatedly in the same place, so you can cook and give it to him.
Okay.
Yeah. And fruits and vegetables are available everywhere, and simple thing, bread is available everywhere. Yeah. So you can give those.
Some people, they will only want money, so they will never accept food.
So just like how they are very firm, not accepting anything other than money, you also be firm, not giving anything other than money. I mean, not giving anything other than food. Yeah. So just like how they are firm, you also be firm.
Okay.
Yeah. And if a person is really in need of something to eat, they'll definitely accept. Yeah.
Because when I visit few places and I saw many people, they are asking for their 1 month rent. I experienced 3 to 4 times.
1 month rent?
1 month.
Wow. That's a high-tech
Nearby Indian
High-tech begging. That's high-tech begging. Yeah. You mean here or in India?
Here, nearby Indian restaurants.
Oh, near Indian restaurants. Okay. Wow. That's high-tech begging.
I told them I will give $20. They are not accepting.
Wow. Okay. I haven't seen that yet. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, you stick to your principles. You give food, or you can give clothes also to them. Yeah. You can buy 2-3 pairs of clothes and give it to them, but not money directly.
Okay.
Yeah. But again, you can donate some amount of money based on your capacity, if they are really going to use that money for their basic needs. As you said, I mean, if somebody is asking like $1,000 for rent, that's like too much. They're not in a homeless situation. So if somebody is really asking for money for some medical help or whatever, right? So you can talk to them, understand the situation. You can get some pulse from him, and then understand the situation. Maybe donate some money. Again, the time, place, circumstances, right? So if the circumstances are really demanding that money is definitely needed for their medical help or whatever, yeah, then maybe you can. So the principle is not to donate money randomly without knowing the details. So get some details, understand the situation, understand the circumstances, and then if money is really needed, yeah, donate some money. Yeah, but most of the times what we do is, let's say somebody posts a GoFundMe request on Facebook.
Yeah.
We do not even make an effort to know the details. The first thought that comes to our mind is, okay, somebody is in need. Let me donate $5, $10 so that I'll get some sukriti. That's our tendency. And when we immediately click on the button, in 1 minute, we donate something. I mean, in this country, I have seen. I'm sure you all have seen, right? Many people post this GoFundMe requests for medical help. Even the IT people, right? Let's say one of their parents are visiting from India, or even they themselves, so they are hospitalized and they are incurring 200K, 300K medical bill. They raise a GoFundMe request. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's another high-tech begging, another way of high-tech begging. Does anyone do that in India? An IT professional working in Microsoft, do they raise a GoFundMe request? Even if their hospital bills are like 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, they don't do that in India. Maybe they are doing nowadays, but I haven't seen one yet. But yeah, here in this country, it has become very common. It has become very common. Whenever somebody gets hospitalized, and if they're incurring 100K, 200K hospital bills, the first thing they do is GoFundMe request. Or if there's a death in the family, Indian parent visiting and there's a death, they have to send the body to India, GoFundMe request. And that's ridiculous. Can they spend 100K, 200K? So like that, you have to look at the time, place, and circumstances. So know the details. The principle is know the details and then do whatever is needful. Yeah. Okay.
I have a little take on this thing, Prabhuji. Maybe not against it or anything, but
yeah.
I think in India, 10 lakhs, 20 lakhs, I mean, people in IT may not do this, and India. The reason being, the hospital bills. Of course, during COVID, they have risen like crazy, and they needed help, and that's a exceptional situation. But generally, the hospital bills are not. I mean, for hospitalization or like. Medical help in general terms for people is not that high. Whereas here it's way too high. I mean, they, even if you have insurance, they add like huge amount of bills even for normal checkups and stuff. And particularly when like this death in this, they have to transport the body back to India and stuff. So that costs like so air coffin, or like maybe they transport through ship or something. So that's costing. I mean, they charge extra for that. And here raising 200K sudden. I mean, they needed to be paid immediately, and otherwise they won't transport or something like that. And it would cost really high, is what I've heard. And they not unnecessarily, but they also provide helicopter or like chopper kind of services for like transporting a person to the hospital. Here, like air ambulance,
air ambulance,
air ambulances. So they charge all those things on us, and it kind of gets. And the middle class in India situation is different from here. So here the poor itself is like middle class compared to India. So this is like a little difference in like the money. I'm not against this. I know they could have, they can raise maybe with their friends maybe that much amount of money, but it's a little. I mean, there are so many things at play here other than like normal 100 to 100K or something.
I mean, they can borrow money. They can borrow money from friends or relatives, and then repay them by selling some property in India. I'm sure, a person working here in US, they all have at least one or two properties or few properties somewhere in, either in India or here. So they can sell the property and pay off those debts later on. And sending a body to India, right? There is no need to raise funds 100K, 200K and send body to India. They can do the cremation here only, following all the shastric rituals. They can bring a priest, they can follow all the shastric rituals and do the cremation here only. There is no need to send the body to India by raising 100 to 100K.
Okay.
Yeah. So there can be corner cases, for example, where only wife is survived and wife does not have any income. And, so definitely some help is needed. Yeah. So that can be a genuine case. But what happened over a period of time is everybody is posting GoFundMe requests just randomly like that. So now we don't know what is a genuine case, what is not a genuine case. Yeah. So, yeah, again, if you know the details and if there is really a genuine case, then okay. But
sorry,
but I have seen.
I mean, I'm not opposing you this thing. I know I've seen these cases rising like many these days. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah. And somebody posts GoFundMe request raising some funds on their birthday. So if a person is so charitable, why can't they donate by themselves? why to raise a GoFundMe request saying that today is my birthday, all of my friends, please donate. That's another type of begging. Yeah, that's
I have been that culprit, Prabhuji.
Oh, okay. Okay, not a victim, but a culprit. So you did that by yourself.
Yeah, I raised a GoFundMe on my birthday once.
Okay.
I mean, like, 2 years back or something.
Okay.
1 year or 2 years back, I'm not sure. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, not for a common cause, of course, not for me. I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, the money automatically goes. It's actually recommended by Facebook itself. Do you want to? I mean, as soon as our birthday is nearing, it suggests. Do you want to raise a GoFundMe request to just donate to so many this thing? So
Yeah.
it's like I mean, you don't get that money in your account or anything. It directly goes to that particular cause itself, but it's still yeah.
Yeah. And when you see that that prompt from Facebook, do you want to raise GoFundMe request? You
That
can't
was
say
trending
no.
also
You
during
can't
that
say
time.
no.
Yeah.
Just like Ashok said, Prabhuji, how to learn how to say no.
It's like Prabhuji,
Good
like
example.
if you make any donation, you will get like 10 posts on Facebook with all the images, which is like
Yeah,
it's like emotionally guilty. They'll make you feel emotionally guilty for
yeah.
not contributing,
Impact Guru
because
is also doing the same thing. Yeah.
it's like so many things like Keto India. Like sometimes I'm like, okay, what should I do? Like, how do I know whether it's good or not? Whether it's
Yeah.
the correct one or not? Sometimes it hurts emotionally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like, I mean, they really post sad stories, which any normal empathetic person, normal any human being would get affected by it. Like, I mean, I face this much difficulty and everything, and my son or my daughter or my wife or my husband, whoever is affected, is suffering now.
Yeah.
We need money. I mean, we know the details. We'll get to know the details, but the emotional manipulation is at a very high rate. Like, I mean, we going there and seeing someone in need and helping is a whole different thing, which might come under like sattvic way of helping someone, or like in the mode of goodness. But these things, even if we know the details, because we always cannot go, of course, we are too busy in our jobs and life and whatever we say, but we still want to help somehow. And it's like giving the mix of both by listening to these emotional stories, and once you donate also, they post the pictures of how they use the money and stuff, so you get a little dopamine effect as well, like, oh, I helped someone, and that
Yeah.
kind of pushes you next time seeing another story and helping them out. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
once, I mean, they have your number and stuff, and they ask for email address or something to send receipt and whatever, whatnot, and yeah, that eventually.
Yeah. And when everything is so systematic, so organized, so transparent, we think it's perfectly
It's
okay
genuine.
it's
Yeah.
perfectly okay to donate, and it's genuine. But
Yeah.
it may not be genuine. So the best way of donating money is to somebody who is in need, especially poor people, is when you go to India, you make a explicit effort to visit different areas within the same place where your hometown is. You don't have to go anywhere. In the same hometown, you can visit some places, and you'll definitely find people who are in need of money or clothes or food, whatever. So there you can talk to the family. Even if you talk to one family, even if you help one family nicely,
Yeah.
that will give you immense satisfaction, and that is enough. You don't have to go and donate 10 GoFundMe requests. During every India trip, if you help even one family nicely, then that is more than enough. And doing some charity for Go Seva, doing some charity for spreading Krishna consciousness, for temple maintenance, temple construction. So all these things. Yeah. So Yeah, we must be careful before we indulge in GoFundMe donations. There might be genuine cases. So the principle is don't donate anything without knowing the details. And don't post GoFundMe on your birthdays.
Sure, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Prabhuji, but the thing is,
For me, Prabhuji.
while donating, our intention is not bad, right, Prabhuji? Our intention was to do something good, right? But how do we incur bad karma from that? Is what I'm
because
thinking
you are
about.
not following the doctrine given by Krishna. Krishna gave a doctrine of charity. Desha Kala Patra, time, place, and circumstances. And Krishna explained in detail what is helping in the mode of goodness, what is helping in the mode of ignorance and passion. So when Krishna has given this instruction, and if we are not following that, even though you have a good intention, it is just for your satisfaction. That good intention is for your own satisfaction, as Madhuri said, right? To get that little dopamine effect. Yeah, charity has that benefit, it gives you happiness. It increases your dopamine effect, dopamine level. If you help others, either by giving some charity or by guiding them. So basically, when you help somebody, you get that you get some dopamine effect and happiness.
Yeah, that serving nature is in us, right? Like we want to serve.
Yeah.
Something or the other, but we
yeah,
don't
that's
realize.
Our eternal occupational duty. To serve Krishna is our eternal occupational duty. And we use that in every walk of our life. That service attitude, we show that in every walk of our life. Yeah.
I have a question. So I faced this in India.
Yeah.
Like if I have two options to choose, donating some money to Goshala or donating some money to people. So on what basis I can select one of them? I usually get confusion there. So whom to give?
So in one trip to India, you donate to Goshala. Another trip, you donate to a family.
Okay.
Do both.
Okay.
Yeah, do both. Yeah, or maybe if you have a goal to donate 1 lakh, so donate 50,000 to Goshala and 50,000 to the family. Yeah, you can allocate some percentage. Yeah.
So I thought donation to Goshala will give me more pious credit than donating to human. That's why I thought in that way. Maybe wrong. I don't know.
That is true. That is true because cows are very dear to Krishna. So Krishna will be happy if you take care of the cows nicely, and if you are the cause to, if you contribute to Go Seva, Krishna will be happy definitely. But at the same time, we have to help each other. There was a story, right? In Turkey, there was this person who was the owner of 33 buildings, and in 17 seconds, everything collapsed. He himself became homeless. Okay. Now somebody has to help him. Somebody has to help him. Not only to him, all the people who are the victims of the earthquake in Turkey, somebody have to help them. So whoever has genuine need, somebody has to help them. Yeah.
Prabhu, I have one last question on the Goseva. So,
yeah.
like, if like my grandmother, my grandfather, right? They basically Godanam, right? They used to kind of buy a cow and then they donate the cow.
Yeah.
So doing donation to Goshala is the same as that, or the reason I'm asking is, if somebody wants to do Go Seva, like there are two people, and then like, let's say somebody wants to do Go Seva, and they can donate like 25,000 each on their for each of them. Or instead, if they donate 50,000 to a Goshala, is that same pious? I mean, like, I'm just wondering, just donating to Goshala is good, or kind of do the Godana?
So the proper Godanam is donating a cow and calf and the necessities to take care of the cow and calf for the lifetime. Yeah. So that is the proper way of doing Godana. I mean, Vedas describe even more detailed process of doing Godanam, that you have to put some golden what do you call so the hoofs, right? The hoofs of the hoofs. Yeah, the hoofs of the cows and calf. So in Vedas it is described, you have to put some gold in the hoofs and donate. So again, you have to look at the time, place and circumstances, right? So buying gold in today's age may not be as practical as it was in the olden times. The olden times, everyone was so rich. And maybe that instruction was for kings, because kings and Vaishyas who were rich, they were donating to Brahmanas, right? So yeah, I mean, if not gold, at least the cow, calf, and 1 year worth of necessities, not 1 year, the lifetime worth of necessities to take care of the cow and calf.
Yeah, that is what I heard, Prabhuji. Like even cows, even if we donate just the cow, people are using it until it grows old, because it gives milk and they can sell it and this thing. And after it gets old, either they sell it to meat industry or just leave it outside as in villages. So it has like, I mean, it's old and it cannot survive by itself, and it's used to certain owner and certain like living this thing, and now it's suddenly homeless. Yeah. And that's how it is like. Yeah. And if it's previously they used oxen or to like plough the lands and stuff, right? So they used both male and female cows, but now male tractors and machines have come, so they are selling off the like male cows for directly. I mean, even if the calf is born, they sell it off to meat industry directly. And so that's why even though India doesn't eat beef as much, very small population eats, it considers cow very sacred. It is the second largest exporter of beef, because that's why people are asking everyone to turn vegan, because if you're drinking milk, it means you are encouraging the beef industry. It means you are encouraging the cows to be in a, I mean, like bred in a very what do you call, farms and stuff. Large scale. And when they become useless, they are, I mean, as in for humans, they sell it off and become a part of contributing to the beef industry.
Slaughterhouse. So that's the correct way of doing cow donation, Godana. But other than that, if you just want to donate towards the maintenance of Goshala, you can donate any amount of money. As Kiran said, 25,000, 50,000, whatever is possible. Yeah. Okay. So let's come to our discussion, 2.9. Okay. Now, in 2.7 and 2.8, Arjuna surrendered to Krishna, and Arjuna said, Shishyas teham shadimam tvam prapannam. Krishna, I am soul surrendered to you. Please instruct me what is good for me. Now that's a big transition from chapter 1 to chapter 2. In chapter 1, Arjuna was behaving like independent, like a learned person, independent, not needing help from others. And he was counter arguing with Krishna by quoting Dharma Shastra, Ardha Shastra, and he was in a helpless situation, but at the same time he was behaving like an independent, self-sustained person. Now in chapter 2, there's a big transition. So when Arjuna figured out that there is no other way out for him, then he surrendered to Krishna. Shishyasteham shadimam tvam prapannam. And then in 2.9 and 10, Sanjaya speaks. Now there is a change in the drama scene, and there is a change in the speaker also. So Arjuna 2.7 and 8, Arjuna was speaking. Now 2.9 and 10, Sanjaya speaks. So 2.9, Sanjaya uvacha evamukva hrushikesham gudakesha parantapa nayotsya iti govindam uktva tushnim babuvaha. Sanjaya uvacha, Sanjaya said, evam, thus, uktva, speaking, hrushikesham, onto Krishna, the master of the senses. So in Sanskrit, whenever you see the suffix like hrushikesham, that means onto. So he's the object of, that is the object of action. So to refer to an object of action, you use the suffix hrushikesham. The actual word is Hrishikesha. Hrishikesha means the controller of the senses, or the master of the senses. Krishna. Krishna's another name is Hrishikesha. But now here, Krishna is the object of the action. What is that action? Speaking. Who is speaking? Arjuna is speaking. Arjuna is speaking to Krishna. That's why Hrishikesham. Now, if you suffix a word in Sanskrit with ha, just like Gudakesha. Gudakesha is Arjuna, the controller of sleep. But when you say Gudakesha, he is he's the cause of the action. So there is an object of action and the cause of the action. Cause and action. Cause and object. So the cause of the action is Arjuna here. He is speaking. Gudakesha. So Sanjaya uvacha, Sanjaya said, evam, thus, uktva, speaking, Hrishikesham, onto Krishna, the master of the senses, Gudakesha, Arjuna, the master of curbing ignorance, Param Tapa, the chastiser of enemies, Nayotse, I shall not fight, Iti, thus, Govindam, onto Krishna, the giver of pleasure to the senses, Uktva, saying, Tushnim, silent, Babuvaha, Babuva became, certainly. Okay, so we'll read the translation and then repeat the shloka recitation.
Prabhuji, small question. So here, the chastiser of enemies is Krishna, right? It's not Arjuna.
No, chastiser of enemy is Arjuna. Parantapa, chastiser of enemy is Arjuna.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll explain you why Arjuna is referred to as chastiser of enemies here.
Okay.
I'll explain you that. So, translation, Sanjaya said, having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Okay, so let's recite the shloka and repeat. Sanjaya uvacha
Sanjaya
Sanjaya Uvacha
Acha.
eva mukva hrishikesham
Eva Muktva Rishikesham
Gudakesha parantapa
Gudakesha Parantapa
Nayotsya iti govindam
Nayotsya iti Govindam
Uktva tushnim babuvaha.
Uktva Tushnim Babuvaha.
Yeah. Okay. Kiran, you want to recite?
Sanjaya Vacha
Sanjaya
Sanjaya
uvacha
Uvacha
Evam Uktva Rishikesham
Evam
Eva
uktva
Muktva
hrishikesham
Rishikesham
Gudakesha Parantapa
Gudakesha
Gudakesha
Parantapa
Parantapaha
Nayotsya iti Govindam
Nayotsya iti
iti
govindam
Govindam
Uktva Tusnim Bhubuvaha.
Uktva
Tva
tushnim
Tushnim
babuvaha.
Babuvaha.
Okay. Rahul?
Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya uvacha
Eva Muktva Rishikesham
Eva mukva hrishikesham
Rishikesham
Gudakesha Parantapaha
Gudakesha
Kesha
parantapa
Parantapaha
Nayotsya iti Govindam
Nayotsya iti
Iti
govindam
Govindam
Uktva Tushnim Babuvaha
Uktva tushnim
Tushnim
babuvaha.
Bahuvaha.
Okay. Madhuri?
Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya
Uvacha
Eva Mukta Hrishikesham
Eva
Evam
mukva
Muktva
hrishikesham
Rishikesham
Gudakesha Parantapaha
Gudakesha
Gudakesha
parantapa
Parantapaha
Nayotsya iti Govindam
Nayotsya
Nayotsya
iti
iti
Govindam
govindam
Uktva Tushnim Bhabuvaha
Uktva tushnim
Tushnim
babuvaha.
Bahuvaha.
Okay. Ashok?
Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya uvacha
Evam Muktva Rishikesham
Eva
Eva mukva
Mukta
hrishikesham
Rishikesham
Gudakesha Parantapaha
Gudakesha
Gudakesha
parantapa
Parantapaha
Nayotsya iti Govindam
Nayotsya
Nayotsya
iti
iti
govindam
Govindam
Uktva Tushnim Bahuvaha.
Uktva
Tva
tushnim
Tushnim
babuvaha.
Babuvaha.
Okay. Venugopal?
Sanjaya Uvacha
Sanjaya
Sanjaya uvacha
Eva Mukta Rushikesham
Eva
Eva
mukva
Muktva
hrishikesham
Rishikesham
Gudakesha Parantapaha
Gudakesha
Gudakesha
parantapa
Parantapaha
Nayosya iti Govindam
Nayotsya iti
Nayotsya iti
iti
govindam
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 Ukta Tushnim Babuvaha
Uktva
Uktva
tushnim
Tushnim
babuvaha.
Bahuvaha.
Okay. So having spoken thus, Arjuna, chastiser of enemies, told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. Purport. Dhritarashtra must have been very glad to understand that Arjuna was not fighting and was instead
leaving the battlefield for the begging profession. But Sanjaya disappointed him again in relating that Arjuna was competent to kill his enemies, Parantapa. Although Arjuna was, for time being, overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered unto Krishna, the supreme spiritual master, as a disciple. This indicated that he would soon be free from the false lamentation resulting from family affection and would be enlightened with perfect knowledge of self-realization or Krishna consciousness and would then surely fight. Thus, Dhritarashtra's joy would be frustrated since Arjuna would be enlightened by Krishna and would fight to the end. Okay. So here, so Sanjaya is narrating the scene. So after Arjuna spoke and said, Krishna, I'm surrendering, I'm a soul surrendered to you. Please instruct me what is best for me. So Sanjaya is saying, having thus spoken, Arjuna told Krishna, Govinda, I shall not fight, and fell silent. So here, Arjuna is referred with two names and Krishna is also referred with two names. So Arjuna is referred with two names, Gudakesha and Parantapa. And Krishna is referred to with two names, Hrishikesha and Govinda. So let's try to understand the meaning of these names and the context, why these names are taken in this context. So Arjuna is referred to with two names, Gudakesha and Parantapa. So Parantapa means chastiser of enemies. So what does it mean, chastiser? What is the meaning of the word chastiser?
Punisher.
Giving correction.
Giving what?
Corrections.
Giving correction, yeah. Giving correction, disciplining somebody or punishing, or it can even mean killing. So all these things. So chastiser of enemies. So Arjuna is capable of all these things. He's a great Kshatriya. He's capable of chastising the enemies. But is this the right context to call Arjuna as Parantapa? Because Arjuna said, I shall not fight. Now, that word Parantapa appears to be a misnomer. It's irrelevant. The Parantapa can be used if Arjuna is in the mood of fighting and he is actually killing the enemies. But he decided not to do that. So is it relevant to call Arjuna as Parantapa, the chastiser of enemies? So what do you all have to say?
Whether battle or not, Prabhuji, like Arjuna is like, he's a very fierce warrior, like you said. So he the reason the whole battle started and everything came into picture is because Hastinapur is where like Dhritarashtra and his sons were ruling. And Indraprastha is where like was given to Pandavas to rule before all this whole battle started. So there they established a very good kingdom. They, from like a Khandava Prasth, which was like completely jungle with full of
barren
snakes
land.
And snakes and everything. They built a very beautiful kingdom, and everybody wanted to go from Hastinapur to Indraprastha actually. So they built such good policies and everything. They ruled with dharma, right? So that's what brought jealousy to these the Kauravas, and they wanted to fight them and eventually, take away that kingdom as well. All the prosperity from that kingdom. So so there, Arjuna, even whether there's battle or not, he was always known to, once he's in the field, once he's he made up his mind to fight enemies, he would definitely defeat them. He's a very great warrior.
Yeah, he's very capable. He's very capable person. He got Pashupatastra from Lord Shiva.
Pashupatastra from Shiva. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
so he's very
also called son of Indra. Yeah.
He's a great Kshatriya. But if he's in the mood of fighting, then that word Parantapa makes sense. But now it appears to be misnomer.
So this is being said by Sanjaya, who was like a third person. So he knows that Krishna is with him, and he would eventually make him agree to fight. Sanjaya is like describing the scene. So he's describing it to Dhritarashtra, who was getting happy that Arjuna is not going to fight and he's going to beg instead of fighting and all. So he was maybe added that as a part of like conversational this thing, that if Krishna is going to change his mind, which is going to happen for sure, then he would be the chastiser of enemies. So it's like warning.
Even Sanjaya does not know what's going to happen. Even Krishna himself does not know what's going to happen. Krishna gave knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, and in the end, in 18th chapter, Krishna said, Yadechasi tada kuru. Now I have given you this most confidential knowledge. Yadechasi tada kuru. You do whatever you want. Krishna gave the choice to Arjuna. He did not force.
Okay.
So when he gave a choice, Arjuna can go either way, this way or that way, right? So even Krishna did not know what will happen. In one sense, Krishna knows past, present, and future. But in the context of that verse, when Krishna said, Yadechasi tada kuru. So in that sense, even Krishna did not know what will happen, whether Arjuna will fight or not. Because he was struck by miserly compassion. So why Arjuna is called as Parantapa here, the chastiser of enemies? Anyone else?
Guruji, right now there are two words, like one is Gudakesha and Parantapa.
Yeah.
If we can consider the ignorance as one of the enemy, then it makes sense that Parantapa, that Arjuna will also overcome this ignorance what he is facing now. And that's why they have added the word Parantapa, Gudakesha Parantapaha.
You are coming close, and you are mixing the Gudakesha and Parantapa. Yeah, you're almost there. Okay, anyone else? Kiran, Rahul, Venugopal? Okay, so even though Arjuna has decided not to fight, okay, but he is fighting with internal enemies. He's fighting with his internal enemies. So what are those internal enemies? Primarily, it's his miserly compassion, miserly weakness or compassion. That is what he's fighting with. That's his internal enemy. Family affection, as Prabhupada explained in the purport, right? Overwhelmed with false grief due to family affection, he surrendered to Krishna, the supreme spiritual master. So because he was fighting with his internal enemies, and in that process of fighting with his internal enemy of compassion, he surrendered to Krishna. He surrendered to Krishna to kill those internal enemies. He surrendered to Krishna to kill his internal enemies of compassion or false grief, as Prabhupada explains in the purport. False grief due to family affection. So that's why Sanjaya is emphasizing Arjuna's name as Parantapa to tell that Arjuna was fighting an inner battle. He was killing internal enemies by surrendering to Krishna. Okay, so that is Parantapa. Now, Gudakesha, the word Gudaka in Sanskrit, Gudaka means sleep. Isha means controller. One who controls sleep is Gudakesha. So Arjuna has mastered the art of controlling sleep. So Arjuna has mastered the art of controlling sleep. So one day Arjuna was eating his food in the evening time. Probably he was eating his dinner. And those days there was no electricity, right? The only form of light is the ghee lamps. Ghee lamps or some oil lamps. So Arjuna was eating food in the light of an oil lamp, and with the blow of wind, the ghee lamp went away, and then it was dark. Arjuna was almost finishing his meal, and he decided to finish it up anyway. So even though it was dark, he finished it. And then after finishing his meal, he realized, I was able to eat in dark. That means I can also shoot arrows in dark. Then he started practicing that art of shooting arrows in dark in the night time. And by doing that, over a period of time, he was able to control his sleep. Then he got the name as Gudakesha. Gudaka is sleep, Isha is controller. Gudakesha is controller of sleep. So sleep generally indicates ignorance. Sleep generally indicates ignorance. Now even for us also, for us to be able to sleep, for us to be able to fall asleep, we need mode of ignorance. We need all the three modes to perform different activities in our daily life. We need mode of goodness in the morning, which is naturally available to everyone. As soon as we wake up, everyone is in the mode of goodness. Even a hardcore criminal is also in the mode of goodness when he wakes up in the morning. And then as the day progresses, the mode of passion will be dominated. And we need mode of passion to do things. Otherwise, we cannot do anything. We cannot create anything. We cannot do anything. And as the evening or night approaches, we need mode of ignorance to fall asleep. So sleep indicates ignorance. So here Gudakesha, in one sense, it means Arjuna is controller of sleep. But in this particular context, because Arjuna is overwhelmed with ignorance. So what is that ignorance? Arjuna was identifying with body. That is the ignorance. That is a misconception. Arjuna was identifying with material body and thinking that is permanent. And he was telling to Krishna, how can I kill how can I kill my own kinsman? Arjuna was thinking that he was going to kill his own kinsman forever because he was identifying with the material body. That is his ignorance or misconception. So now, by surrendering to Krishna in chapter 2, shloka 7 and 8, Arjuna is going to get enlightened and dispel his ignorance. That's why this name Gudakesha, controller of ignorance. So by surrendering to Krishna, Arjuna is going to dispel his ignorance. He's going to control his ignorance. That's why the word Gudakesha. Okay, Gudakesha and Parantapa. Now, so Gudakesha is speaking to Rishikesha. Okay. So Gudakesha is Arjuna, Rishikesha is Krishna. Rishika means senses. Rishi Isha is master. Rishikesha means master of senses. So Gudakesha is speaking to Rishikesha. Gudakesha is controller of sleep. Rishikesha is controller of senses. So from the literary meaning of these two words, they both are at the same level. Arjuna is able to control something which is not possible by common men. Controlling sleep is not easily possible by common men. Similarly, controlling senses is also not possible for everyone. Krishna is the master and he is a controller of senses. So from the literary meaning of these two words, Gudakesha and Rishikesha, both Arjuna and Krishna are at the same level. So Sanjaya is highlighting a point here that even though both Arjuna and Krishna are at the same level, because they are friends, right? They are friends. Arjuna was serving Krishna in Sakya Rasa. Arjuna was treating Krishna as a friend. And later on in chapter 11, when Krishna shows universal form, Arjuna realizes his mistake, saying that, "Oh Krishna, I have considered you as my friend. I have played with you. I have eaten in the same plate with you. I have ridiculed you many times. I made fun of you. So please excuse me for my, misunderstanding." So in chapter 11, Arjuna says, "Saketi matva prasabam yaduttam he Krishna he Yadava he saketi ajanata mahimanam tvavedam vihara shayya shana bhojaneshu." Vihara, shayya and bhojana. Vihara means roaming around. So Arjuna was telling, I was roaming around with you. And shayana means I was sleeping on the same bed with you. Vihara shayya bhojaneshu. I was eating together with you, considering you as my friend. But I did not know that you are the Supreme. So that is Arjuna's conversation in chapter 11. So coming back here, because Arjuna was in friendly relationship with Krishna, so Gudakesha and Hrishikesha are at the same level. But now that relation, that friendly relation has transformed into a guru and disciple relation. Even though they are at the same level. Two friends means they are at the same level, right? There can be a small age of difference, small difference of age, but they are pretty much at the same level. In terms of the age or abilities, they are pretty much at the same level. But one friend has accepted another friend as a guru. Now this is now there is a lesson from this for all of us to learn. So generally in our life, we don't accept our friends or any other person who is at the same level as ours, who is of the same age as ours. We don't accept them as our advisor. We are ready to take an advice from a senior person, like an elderly person, senior person. But if the other person is of the same age and of the same caliber, we are not ready to accept advice from them. We are not ready to accept that person as a advisor, which is a wrong thing to do. So any good piece of advice, we should be able to take it from anyone, even if it is from a younger person, even if it is from a person who is of the same age. We should be ready to take a good piece of advice anytime. So Arjuna is exhibiting that here. Even though Krishna is at the same level as Arjuna, but he has accepted Krishna as his guru and ready to take his advice. So that is Gudakesha and Parantapa.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Yeah.
Does the Mahabharata or any of the Itihasas reveal Arjuna's past lives or other lives? Because he's like the best friend to Krishna, right? Like,
yeah,
he would have done, he would have had some Purva Janma Sukruti, right, Prabhuji? So, is there a mention? Like, I see Krishna mentions that I remember past lives, but you don't to Arjuna somewhere in the Gita, but yeah.
That you don't remember past life, but I remember everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, in chapter 4, Krishna says, both you and I have taken millions of births in the past. You don't remember anything, but I remember everything.
Right.
Yeah. So what is that shloka, Ashok?
Prabhuji, it's from chapter 4. It's like the 4th or the 5th shloka, Prabhuji. I'm trying to read.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he asks about Vivaswan, like Arjuna knows
sun god Vivaswan.
Yeah.
How do I believe that you spoke Bhagavad Gita to sun god Vivaswan? Because you are contemporary to me. You and I are of the same age. How can I believe that you spoke Bhagavad Gita 120 million years ago to sun god Vivaswan?
Prabhuji, it's 4.5.
4.5, yeah. Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam vetta parantapa. Many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. Yeah. So Krishna knows past, present, and future. We read that shloka from chapter 7 also, right? Vedaham samatitani vartamani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mamtu vedana kasyana. Yeah. So here, see, Arjuna is the eternal associate of Krishna in the spiritual world. He is a Nitya Siddha. He never falls into material world. He is a Nitya Siddha. But before Krishna appears, whenever Krishna appears in any incarnation, whether it is Rama Avatara, Narsimha Avatara, or Krishna Avatara, any Avatara, before Krishna appears, he sends all of his associates first, so that they can prepare the ground and make arrangements for Krishna's arrival. So all these people, Arjuna, all the Pandavas, and even the Kauravas, Duryodhana, Dhritarashtra, everyone, they are all associates of Krishna. So Krishna sent everybody before his appearance. Krishna sent everybody so that there is a play field for Krishna to perform some pastime. And then Krishna appears. And all these associates who are sent to the play field, they are put into illusion so that they don't consider Krishna as God, and they don't act as if they know everything. They don't act as if they are self-realized people. They are put into illusion. They are put into illusion that they don't know anything. They don't know Krishna. They don't know anything about spirit soul. They don't know anything about spirituality. They are put into illusion. So similarly, Arjuna is also in that situation. He's an eternal associate of Krishna. He's a pure soul, pure devotee of Krishna in the Sankhya Rasa, in the friendly relationship. But now, in Dwapar Yuga, when this happened, he was put into illusion. Arjuna was put into illusion that he does not know Krishna, that Krishna is God. He does not know that he is a spirit soul. So that Krishna can get an opportunity to speak Bhagavad Gita through the via medium of Arjuna to all of us.
Yeah, Broji, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But that calculation, I'm trying to we can't calculate that. The relationships of the people, like the associates, when they come down to set up the scene. I don't know how Krishna calculates that and how complicated that would be. Like every other decision would throw millions of tangents, and just thinking about one tangent would lead to billions of other tangents. Starting to think that particular thought is like frying my brain.
Yeah. and it's a piece of cake for Krishna.
Yeah.
It's a piece of cake for Krishna. Krishna is a director and actor in the play that he performs. Yeah. So that's the beauty of his pastimes. He's the director and the actor. He writes his own script for his own performance. So yeah.
Prabhu, I have one question. So you said when his associates were sent here, they were under some illusion so that they can perform that role, right? So similarly, if Krishna is actually in the form of a child, so at that point of time, does he know everything, or he is also under kind of a illusion?
Yeah, good question. So now, if he knows that he's God, he's the supreme person. He's the supreme person who is capable of lifting Govardhana, and he's the cause of all causes, Sarva Karana Karanam. He's the maintainer of all universes. If he knows that, then he cannot enjoy those childhood pastimes. He cannot go to gopis' homes and steal butter. Rather, he would sit at his own home, and with a single thought, he can get that butter pot to his home. And now Krishna cannot enjoy that pastime if he knows that. So there is a covering. There is a covering that helps Krishna perform these pastimes and makes Krishna forget the fact that he is the supreme. And that covering is called Yoga Maya.
Okay.
Yeah. So we are covered with Maha Maya. generally we hear the word Maya, right?
Yeah.
Maya means some illusion. We are covered or conditioned by some illusion. That is Maya or Mahamaya. Whereas the covering that helps Krishna facilitate these pastimes is Yoga Maya.
Is that for the entire period?
Yeah. Yeah. Even in Ramavatara, Lord Ram did not know that he was supreme. That
But Krishna, sorry, Prabhuji, like you, I mean, regarding the question that he asked,
Yeah.
so, but Krishna realized at this point when he was talking, when he's giving Bhagavad Gita knowledge to Arjuna, that he's the
Yeah.
supreme.
Yes.
So
now,
for that,
yeah. Now in that situation, so the Yoga Maya is like it's like a covering, right? It's like a curtain. It can be opened whenever needed. It can be closed whenever needed.
So that is in the hands of Krishna himself. Yoga Maya in the hands of Krishna.
It is Krishna's energy. Yoga Maya is Krishna's potency. Mahamaya, Krishna, Yoga Maya is Krishna's potency.
So, so I also heard that, I mean, Yogamaya as in, so Krishna has a sister that's Parvati, or like Yogamaya is what she's also called, or Mahamaya.
Yeah.
So I also heard that both Krishna and Yogamaya always take birth, just like Adishesha, which is like Lakshman or Balram in Krishna's avatar. They both also take birth at the same time, right? So similarly, I heard that Yogamaya also, Parvati as in his sister, also takes birth at the same time. So in Krishna's avatara, it's Subhadra, as in I heard, right, Prabhuji?
Yes. Yeah. Balaram, Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in Ramavatara also, she was born as Krishna's sister, Rama's sister, or Rama doesn't have, like, not directly.
I don't think Rama has sisters.
Yeah, not in.
Yeah. No.
Even for Krishna, I think she's like a half sister or something. I mean, she's Balarama's sister directly, but of course, stepsister for Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, in Ramayana, there is. I have to look about that, Prabhuji. I think.
I don't think Lord Ram.
No, Lord Ram did not have any sisters, or. Yeah, I was reading Ramayana a couple of months back. I'll look it up, Prabhuji, and I'll let you know. I think I have little doubt, but I have to read it up and I'll clarify, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So yeah, basically Yoga Maya facilitates all these pastimes, making Krishna forget about the fact that he is God. Otherwise, he cannot enjoy. See, the whole purpose of Krishna coming as a little child, 5,000 years ago in Dwapara Yuga, is to enjoy those sweet pastimes of going to gopis' homes and stealing butter, doing all those naughty things. Now, if he remembers that he is supreme, he cannot enjoy those. So, and when he was performing those pastimes, he was actually performing those roles for real. Like, for example, in the Damodara pastime, when Mother Yashoda binds Krishna to a grinding mortar, Krishna actually cries. Out of fear, Krishna actually cries. Now, it's not some fake crying, or Krishna was not pretending that he was crying. It was actually real crying. And Yoga Maya facilitates all these things. Yep.
I think that is why Krishna Avatara is called Sampurna Avatara compared to Rama Avatara, which is like he was actually a man in Rama Avatara and he was completely in illusion, whereas in Krishna Avatara, he had this realization that I mean, he was both man as well as like God at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it's called
Yeah.
Sampurna Avatara.
Yeah, because he showed universal form to Arjuna and he showed universal form to Mother Yashoda, and he performed um, supernatural activities like lifting Govardhana Parvata, killing all these demons, killing Putana at the age of 7 days. So yeah, so whenever needed, it was the Yogamaya curtain was removed, and Krishna became aware that he was supreme, and he acted accordingly. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it's already 7:20. Let's see if we can.
Prabhuji, I have a
Okay.
question. Maybe
Yeah.
to answer this, maybe it'll take some time.
Okay.
So we basically argue that how can the universe get created out of nothingness, as the entire world like now perceives that like a conclusion is there that the beginning was from the Big Bang.
Yeah.
So we argue that how can it like come out of nothingness? It needs a creator.
Yeah.
But then the question that kills me is that when how did the creator come into existence in the first place? And I also know the answer to that, that like we had previous discussions that the creator was present from time immemorial.
Yeah.
And
not only creator, even we are also eternal. We exist
yeah, but
eternally.
for us to exist, the creator like would have created us like at some point, right? Like maybe a minute after he came into existence. Like if we see the entire so yeah, Prabhuji,
You
I
see,
was
like what is first, seed first or tree first?
yeah, even I had that question, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So there are two different ways of understanding the series of events in spiritual world. One is chronologically, and other one is ontologically. There's a word called ontological. ANTALOGICALLY. Ontologically. So chronologically, right? Chronological means there is a beginning, and then there is a time frame. There are different time frames or time intervals during which different events occurred. And whenever you want to go back in the past, you can go back and look at the dates at which those events happened. So this is chronological. Basically, the order of events are the series of events in which they occurred. So this is how we generally understand events in material world. But in spiritual world, we cannot understand things chronologically. We have to understand them ontologically. Okay, now let's go to Google and look at the meaning of the word ontological. Yeah, it's not AN, it's ON. ONTOLOGICAL. Ontological. Yeah. So let's look at this simple definition here. Ontological means relating to the branch of metaphysics dealing with nature of being, showing the relationship between the concepts and categories in a subject area or domain. So look at this one, showing the relationship between the concepts and categories in a subject area of domain. Now, understanding God and the spirit soul ontologically means you have to understand them in relation with each other. In relation with each other. You cannot understand them separately. For example, if you want to understand about God, about spirit soul, you cannot understand about spirit soul separately. You can only understand spirit soul in relation with God. Like for example, let's say Venugopal is captivated and kept in a room, in a dark room. Now for Venugopal to know his whereabouts, to know who he is, and to know about his whereabouts. So he cannot do that separately. He has to do that in relation with the place where he is. Okay, first he has to identify where he is. Okay, so I am in this room. Okay, I'm captivated, I am in this room. So he has to identify in relation with the room. He cannot identify himself in vacuum. He cannot identify himself in vacuum. He has to be identified in relation with the room in which he exists. Similarly, we cannot understand our identity separately. We have to understand our identity in relation with God. That means we cannot exist without God. We are eternal. We were never born, and we never die. We are eternal means there is no beginning and there is no end. We were never born, we never die. At the same time, we cannot exist without God's presence. Even in the spiritual world, material world, we all know we cannot exist without God. God is the cause of everything here. Okay. Even in the spiritual world, we cannot exist without God. So it's like sun rays cannot exist without sun, and sun cannot exist without sun rays.
Prabhuji, when Prabhupada explains that we are parts and parcels of the super soul,
yeah,
how do we understand that, Prabhuji?
Not part and parcel of super soul, but part and parcel of Krishna himself, Bhagavan himself.
Yeah, Bhagavan.
Yeah.
So does that mean we came out of that effulgence, or we were already there? Yeah, that's where I'm.
Yeah. So
getting
in the
confused.
spiritual world, we all exist eternally. We all means all the spirit souls, including Krishna. we all exist eternally. And somehow Krishna got that supreme position. Now, how, if you ask me how, I don't have an answer, and even Vedas do not have an answer.
Yeah, I think even Shiva and Brahma doesn't have an answer, right? Like even they say that we get confused.
Yeah, they do not
like,
know. Yeah, even they do not know. Even they do not know. Even Krishna does not know how he got that position. So even Krishna does not know how he got that position. So, but the thing is, it will be clear to us when we go there.
Maybe that's why he sends us to find out, like, experiment on behalf of me. If you can be praised like me as God, then I know how I came, and maybe I can give you some position or something.
Maybe. Maybe Krishna does not know.
I never knew this, Prabhuji. Like, I always thought that Krishna might have obviously known, like, how he came into existence, or like, he might have all the answers, right?
In the 10th chapter, there are a couple of shlokas regarding explaining the vibhutis of the Lord, of the Bhagavan. And they say, like, none of the creation, even including Brahma,
Narada,
Rudra,
Vyasa, Asita, Devala.
No one
none
knows
of them know. None of them know his existence.
And Prabhuji, I was able to find out Maharaj Dasharatha had a daughter named Santa. And Santa was actually the daughter of Maharaj Dasharatha, but had been given to the king's childless friend Romapada at the latter's request. So this comes in the episode where Maharaj Dasharatha wants to do the yajna, Putrakamishti yajna, and before that they were trying to see who is the rishi who would do that. And that's when this episode comes up. Like, that rishi's name is Rasyaranga, who's the son of Rishyasringa. Yeah, and he's the son of Mrigi Rishi. So that is that's the episode where we know, like, Maharaj Dasharatha had a daughter. But he had given to the daughter, like, King Romapada.
Okay. And what's her name?
Santa.
Okay. Now I get some recollection, actually. I read it somewhere. Long time ago.
I have this book, Prabhuji, Ramayana, from Bhaktivendanta Swami.
Okay, so it's mentioned in that book.
Yes.
Okay.
So I remember it vaguely, but I just wanted to double confirm, Prabhuji.
Yeah. So in the spiritual world, somehow, Krishna got that position as supreme. That's why in the spiritual world, we develop hatred towards Krishna. Why Krishna? Why Krishna is only God? Why can't I be God?
So, Prabhuji, when we try to answer that, like that, like somehow came into existence, that is like exactly what the atheists are saying. Like, somehow the Big Bang was created, like, out of nothingness. So that's where I'm not able to tackle the questions of the atheists and, like, give them their perspective. They're too much into sci-fi, and they have, like, all the answers better than the theists. Even after, like, giving them scientific proofs, like, we have all the Hinduism is basically out of, like, science, right? Like, we have so many things. Our elders, our ancients knew things that no one did.
Yeah.
So when I like tell them that how did they know all this, they don't have an answer for that, but they're like on the verge of atheism. So yeah, I don't know how to answer that particular question. And even I have that. I know Brahma and Shiva also do, but yeah, now Krishna also does. That's a new turning.
So the difference between what atheists say and what the Vedic science says is the atheist philosophy. It's not repeatable. It's not observable. So two fallacies in their philosophy. So two fallacies. It is not observable. It's not repeatable. Whereas,
actually, right now the study is like the universe is expanding.
Yeah.
And in a few millions of years, it's going to come into like nothingness again. So they're starting to believe that it's a cyclic process. The science is getting there, but it's not out in the open yet.
Yeah. There are different different projects going on, different theories, but fundamentally the two fallacies are they are not observable, they are not repeatable. The chance theory, Big Bang theory, all these things, they are not repeatable, they are not observable. So chance theory is what? So for example, on a cricket stadium, so you flip a coin, that's a chance, right? The chances of the chance is that it can be either a head or tail. And what is the fundamental principle of that chance theory? It should be repeatable and observable. If you flip a coin again and again, you can repeat the chance of head and tails. But the philosophy that atheists are saying, universe came about by chance. It's not repeatable. It's not repeatable by chance. It's not observable. If what scientists are saying, it is the universe came about by chance, it should be repeatable, right? It should occur over and over again by chance, and it should be observable by someone. If not that person who is saying currently, but after some time, after millions of years, whenever some universe occurs, someone should be able to observe it. It's not happening.
So
Whereas
you're saying that,
yeah.
Just to be sure, like you're saying that the Big Bang started at some point billions of years ago by chance. Is that what they are saying?
Yeah.
So there might be another Big Bang coming out of chance somewhere in those billions of years, and there should be another existence to observe. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have a question here on the basis that if Krishna also didn't.
One second, Madhuri, 1 second. So Rahul, just to close the loop there, right? So the reason why I said it's the process should be observable and repeatable is because just now you said, right, even scientists are coming to a conclusion that it's a cyclic process.
Yeah.
Cyclic process means whatever existence is there today, it will come to an end, and then for another creation to happen, another Big Bang should happen. Is that going to happen? If it is going to happen, then it is not by chance.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
But they can argue that it'll like the universe will end, and maybe in a billions of years there might be a 1 of billion chance to get like the creation to start again, right? They might argue that.
Yeah. They might argue that, but they don't have any process to verify what they are arguing. And even the theory that they proposed, the Big Bang theory, in the very beginning itself, they mentioned. So what is that Big Bang theory? It starts with something like when a point singularity is exposed to extremely high temperatures, then
high density.
High density temperatures, then the Big Bang happens. So what is point singularity?
Yeah, I read this, but I don't recall the exact definition, but you might answer it better than me, Prabhuji. Singularity is
is no dimension. Singularity is no dimension, right? Point has multi-dimension.
Okay.
So that itself is a contradictory thing to imagine. Point singularity. Okay, when a point singularity, that means some mass. Point singularity means they are referring to some high density mass put under extremely high temperatures. Then the Big Bang happens. So who created that point singularity or that high density mass?
Yes.
So who created that?
You can argue that.
So,
yeah.
Also, as they say, if it happened again, if it repeated again, it's never by chance. It's or not by coincidence. It happens.
Yeah.
Someone chose for it to happen. Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. Yeah.
But in a billion years, it might have another chance, right, Mataji? Like if we see like in billions of years.
Yeah, we can say there might be a chance, but what's the guarantee?
But also, I think, Prabhuji, when we are talking about universe, right? So we are generally cannot define it in few years. It has to happen in a billion years, because for the Big Bang, from the point of Big Bang till now, it took some billion years to form the way it did. So the part from it started to here itself cannot be described in a few years or in a few. It has to be described in millions and millions of years, and that makes it like how it is right now. Like even for the human being sapiens itself to form, to be at this point of stage, it took 2.5 or some million years. So that is for humans to come in existence. But before that, there was universe by itself. There was some kind of beings, or maybe at least the like the whole universe was there. But as in us itself is it took a few million years ago. So the universe, though it's expanding, that itself will take a few billion years for it to expand, and then to come back again into a singular mass itself will take. So everything we are describing in terms of universe is in billions. It cannot happen. If it happens too quickly, it's going to be a destruction, as in like the stars collide. Like become into black holes and stuff. But that itself takes.
So that means you are believing in Big Bang theory.
No, Prabhuji. What I'm trying to prove is that the chance might happen in a billion years is a wrong thing in itself, because there's another chance of happening this whole Big Bang after after a few billion years might be wrong, because if it took some billion years for it to form the way it did, then it might take a few billion years for it to expand and become one again. Then it's happening on a cycle basis, but it takes a billion years as in the point of time. as in the time dimension itself here is a billion, not like I mean the few years that we can describe in our lifetime.
Yeah.
For human being, it's for a moth or something, it's a day. So similarly for universe, it's a billion maybe. So
yeah. So if you look at Brahma's life duration, it is 311 trillion some billion years.
Yeah.
So that
So
means
if we take creator himself, let's say Brahma created the universe with the instruction of Vishnu or like Krishna. So that itself is like described in trillion years. So the chance of happening for another big another universe itself is like in trillions of years. So
yeah,
and that's one breath of Vishnu.
Vishnu, yeah.
That's like
incredible. One breath of Vishnu. Yeah.
Prabhuji, so for your question, right? You said what was it? You just said that so Mataji believes in Big Bang Theory, right? So I think that
let's assume he does not believe, but let's assume.
Yeah, that was a question. So atheists, like they don't know the Shastra, so for them it's the Big Bang Theory. I think it's the same, like we call it Krishna.
Yeah.
They call it Big Bang, but it's the same thing, right?
It is the same thing, but
similar,
we have
exactly
a method.
Same.
We have a method. We have a process to verify what we are saying.
Right.
So what I think is, Prabhuji, I mean, there are multiple things for us to fight about, but irrespective of that, there are so many unknown factors in both theories. Like even in Big Bang theory, they don't know how the Big Bang itself started, and they don't know where it's going. So they don't know the beginning, they don't know the end. Whereas us, as in we know the beginning. There are some gaps in maybe because of each person does not, I mean, as an individual person, we don't have the knowledge of all shastras. Like I mean, maybe like there are many learned people who might have I mean gained knowledge of few shastras, but they could not explain it to the people who believed in like Big Bang or something. So it's like there are holes in some things, and some were destroyed in like invasions and stuff, right? So our whole Nalanda Vishwavidyalaya was destroyed, which was in which there were few books that were written only once by authors by hand and not published into many books, as in like backup copies and stuff like now. So there was a lot lost during this evolution, this process of evolution, or this process during which we came and everything, right? So it's like a lot of lost knowledge, and everyone is trying to fill the gaps. And I think quantum physics or metaphysics is moving there, like ontological thing. There are many, I see, as you opened, Prabhuji, I opened as well, and there were many who already believed in it, who scientists who believed in God, and like they said that physics is going to prove the existence of God someday. But we were not there yet, and we are proving one by one each theory and getting there is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, we are peeling the layers, but who will be there, after millions of
we
years,
definitely in our lifetime, I don't think we can prove this God.
Yeah, we can't wait until they peel all the layers. Rather, we just learn from authority. So Vedas, we accept the Vedas and learn from it. And it's not a blind faith, right? To believe in Vedas is not blind faith. So there is a process to verify. There's a process to verify. When Krishna says Sarva Karana Karanam, I'm the cause of all causes. Everything emanates from me. Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo. So there's a process to verify that. There's a process to verify. You follow this process of Bhakti Yoga, and it will be released. It will be revealed to you. It's an experiential thing. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Pratyakshaavagamam dharmyam. You can perceive this knowledge, you can realize this knowledge by your direct perception. Anubhava pramana. So you will experience this, it will be revealed to you, and you will experience this. So you follow the process and it will be revealed to you.
The problem,
is
those who experienced, when they explain it, the ignorant people cannot understand it. So it's like the saying that in order for you to argue with an idiot, you have to get to that level, right?
Yeah.
So it's hard for experiential, I mean, the people who have experienced this enlightenment and this whole different level of knowledge, right? So it's like sometimes, I mean, a very highly experienced person cannot explain simple thing to like a beginner or fresher, right? So it's because their level of knowledge is too high.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gaps that they leave in between, and the people who are at the bottom level cannot understand that. So I think that's the problem here, maybe.
They may not understand.
Yeah.
They may not understand the highest level of knowledge, but they can develop faith in what they are saying by looking at simple things. So, for example, how do we develop faith in Vedas? How do we develop faith in Vedas? Is you take some aspect of Veda, some principle from Veda, and then you practice it, you implement it, and you know the result. For example, cow dung is antiseptic. So it's a theory. It's mentioned in Vedas. So how do you believe? How do you put faith in that? Is by bringing cow dung to your home, mix that into water, and sprinkle that in the front yard, and then you will see that no bacteria, no mosquitoes, nothing comes near that place. So similarly, you experiment with 100 different things that are mentioned in Vedas, and then gradually you will develop faith in Vedas.
Yeah, Prabhuji. So the thing I'm experiencing is the atheists want the answers
So
without
there is one
getting
last
into.
thing. So one last thing. So you understand the unknown by the known thing. You understand the unknown by knowing the known thing. So you start putting faith in what you know, and then you will come to an understanding of the unknown eventually. Yeah, go ahead, Rahul.
I had the same trouble, Prabhuji. You remember when in Discover Yourself class, there some I think there's this church nearby, and a few people came to give me Bible, and
yeah, you told me, right? Yeah.
And they were asking questions. How do you believe that Krishna, Hinduism, and the gods that you pray to are right, or like who said that they are like I mean, who gave that god status to them, and why do you believe them, and how can you see them, and like there are so many things that they asked, and I was able to answer a few questions, but some were like I mean, their point of arguing is that from where is the scientific proof, and it's not like they can prove that they're god. I mean, I'm not creating the division or like this thing, but no one can prove the existence of God, because scientists are working from not that perspective. They're trying to prove that, okay, whatever is existing and how to prove it. And even if they're trying to find new things, that they are trying to see whether they exist or not in the form that they know of, not in the form, any other form they cannot find it, right? So so the questions were like very not answerable.
Yeah, so you cannot answer in one sentence, like when Rahul said, right, what's the difference between atheistic philosophy and Vedic science? So, and just like that Christian missionary person asked, how do you believe that the so-called God, Krishna or whoever, is God, is actually God? How do you believe that? So there's no single statement answer to these kind of questions. But if a person gives some time, and if a person is ready to accept some knowledge, yeah, then we can give Vedic knowledge, which can make complete sense, and it's not blind faith. It's not blind faith. There is a process. There's a process to verify, and everybody can verify. Everybody can follow the process and verify. But the problem is, people make arguments, but they stop at following the process. Many great saintly people, they followed the process and they have seen the truth.
Yeah, Prabhuji, I was going to ask you that question. So, like, this is not the first time someone would have gotten the questions we are like discussing about, right? So many great saints would have like millions of, not millions, maybe thousands of years ago. So are there any disclosures from their experiences, Prabhuji? Like we can read or see, like they knowing the super soul or Bhagwan, like any experiences in the Shastras, which would like intensify our answers to some questions?
Yeah, so I'll give you one example. So Srimad Bhagavatam is full of those stories and testimonials, examples. So I'll give you one example, and how we can intensify our faith or our explanation to answer to some of these people. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a pastime called Brahma Vimohana Leela. Okay, Brahma Vimohana Leela in Canto 10, Brahma Vimohana Leela. So Lord Brahma, so one day he looks at Krishna playing with his friends, sitting at Ter Kadamba tree, eating with them, and when he is eating with his friends, just like little children, when they put hands in others' plate and then they eat, and then they put their hand in the other child's mouth. So all these naughty things. Now Brahma, looking at this scene, he was bewildered. He thinks, is this the supreme God? He is eating juta of other people. Is he God? So he got a doubt. Now he wanted to test. He wanted to test, and what he did was he has hidden all these friends of Krishna and all the cows. Then he kept them in hiding for 1 year. Brahma kept all these friends of Krishna and the cows in hiding for 1 year. Now what did Krishna do? Krishna expanded himself into all these friends and cows also. Krishna expanded himself into cows and these boys. And it was the evening, and all the boys have to return home. All the cows had to return home. So this Krishna, who expanded into so many boys and cows, they all returned homes. And all the gopis in different homes, they were actually considering those boys who came home were their own boys. It's actually Krishna who expanded into these different boys and cows. But Krishna expanded so perfectly that nobody could make them out. And after 1 year, Brahma came back, and he was puzzled to see that Krishna is playing with the same set of boys again. He was playing with same set of boys. And then he realizes his mistake of testing Krishna to figure out whether he is God or not. And then he falls at the feet of Krishna and asks for forgiveness. And then he recites Brahma Samhita. Ishvara Parama Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha So he glorifies Krishna as Parameshwara. You are the cause of all causes. Sarva Karana Karanam. So now take that example, and how can we see God's presence in this material world? So we discussed this a few times in DYS and other classes. There are so many things in this world. For example, a small seed can grow into gigantic banyan tree. Now, banyan tree, it can run over a few hundred miles. There is a village in Andhra Pradesh. I forgot the name. Somewhere in Rayalaseema. Okay, a banyan tree running over few hundred miles, and everything starts from a single seed, small seed. Now, where is that potency coming from?
I think we'll
Where is
never
that power
never
coming
be
from?
able to answer that question.
Yeah, it is God's energy. When Krishna says, Aham Sarvasya Prabhavo, everything emanates from me. So it is nothing but Krishna's energy making that small seed growing to such a gigantic banyan tree running over 100 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah, so many things in life, right? There was something called everyone knows Fibonacci series, right?
Yeah.
Fibonacci series. It's a perfect arrangement. I don't know the details of it, but it is some perfect arrangement in a particular shape. So many things are observable in this material world, and they take that shape of Fibonacci series. I can give you more specific details later on. So how is that possible? It's not by chance. It is by the super intelligence of God. It's not random. If it is random, there should not be any order in the society. But the society is in order. The planetary systems are in a perfect order. If it is by chance, there should be no order. Everything is happening under the great intelligence of God.
Prabhuji, I know it's late, but are there any like latest accounts you could share, like around Prabhupada's time? Any revelations they had, like any of the acharyas or Prabhupada himself, or any Nimbarka acharyas, like around Vrindavan, Mathura people? They're obviously like have experiences, right? Like, do you have any most recollected experience or anything you heard from Maharaj, Radhanath Swami Maharaj, or anyone you could share? Or if it's late, we could discuss this later.
Actually, there is
it's 8:04. I need to go to temple for service. We can discuss this in the next class. But yeah, Ashok, you were saying something?
Prabhuji, there is a homework given by Harivilas Maharaj on stories about Prabhupada. It was mentioned in today's morning session class. Maharaj gave a homework. Maybe in a couple of sessions in the morning, we would be discussing about that, Prabhuji. Maybe if Rahul Prabhu can join, he can get more information on that.
Prabhuji, what canto is going on right now?
I don't remember. It's Maharaj just came from India.
It's
Prabhuji.
first canto only. First canto only. Yeah. First canto, I think third chapter.
Of Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, yes. Srimad Bhagavad Gita.
Yes. When is it happening? Early morning?
Morning, 6:30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are the classes recorded, Prabhuji? Any chance?
Yes.
Yeah, you can go to
Oh.
YouTube live at 6:30. You'll see YouTube live.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll be able to see.
Also, every day, or is it on
Every day.
Sundays?
Every day. Yeah.
So it's ISKCON website, Prabhuji, or is there a
Yeah,
ISKCON?
in YouTube, if you search Vedic Cultural Center or ISKCON Seattle, anything,
Okay.
you'll see live session at 6:30 in the morning.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah. Or if you go to you go to Vedic Cultural Center and look at the videos, you'll see archived videos, recorded sessions from previous classes.
You can subscribe to it. So
Yeah, subscribe and then you'll get an alert whenever there is a new live event.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, quick answer to that, right? Prabhupada himself had revelations when he was traveling from India to America. He was traveling by a cargo ship, and during transit, he survived 2 heart attacks. And Prabhupada, after Prabhupada came to so during the transit itself, Prabhupada wrote a poem or kirtan describing what happened during the transit. What happened during the transit. And in that poem, Prabhupada explained that Krishna personally came and he put his head on Prabhupada and protected him. Now imagine a 60-year-old man, 65-year-old man traveling by sea, surviving 2 heart attacks. What are the chances of surviving at the end of the journey? Yeah, practically impossible. So Prabhupada explains in his poem that Krishna personally came and put his hand on Prabhupada's head and protected him.
Yeah, something like Nachao Prabhu, Nachao.
Yeah, so make me like a puppet and yeah. Yeah, there are many incidents. Yeah.
Yeah, Prabhuji. That
Okay.
clears some of the fog. Yep.
Yeah, we had good discussion. 8 o'clock. We'll continue next week then. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Prabhuji.
everyone for joining. Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.